A 25-year-old man in Australia is facing 3 years in jail after he harassed a woman due to her Tinder profile. Now, this all started when someone had posted the Tinder profile of a woman who's 23 years old. Let's take a quick look at it. And the profile has a quote from a Drake song. It's a Drake lyric. Zane Alchin, 25, pleaded guilty and was charged with using a carrier service to menace, harass, or cause offense after he allegedly wrote a series of degraded comments directed toward Olivia Melville after her Tinder profile was shared online by another man named Chris Hall. So if you look at her profile, you can see that it has the Drake lyric from his hit song Only that says, "Type of girl that will suck you dry and then eat some lunch with you." Okay, so she posted that on Tinder. Make of that whatever you will. I don't care, right? But one guy thought it was amusing, posts it on Facebook, and then all of a sudden she gets a bunch of slut-shaming comments underneath. A lot of those comments came from Zane Alchin. So some of the comments included the following. "It's people like you who make it clear women should never have been given rights." He also said, "You know, the best thing about a feminist, they don't get any action, so when you rape them, it feels 100 times tighter."
Jesus.
He also wrote to a woman who was arguing with him in the thread, "I'd rape you if you were better looking." And then finally, he got contacted by authorities, and they said, "Look, here in Australia, we don't mess around when it comes to online harassment. You need to stop or you're going to face charges." His reaction to that was, "What law am I breaking? I'm not the one out of the fucking kitchen." Well, he did break a law. Section 474.17 of the Commonwealth Criminal Code Act, which carries a maximum sentence of 3 years imprisonment. So Australia is very different from the United States when it comes to online harassment. If you are proven to harass an individual over and over and over again, well, you could face charges, and he is facing charges. In fact, he pleaded guilty, and as a result, he will be sentenced later in July, and we'll find out how much time he'll serve behind bars. But again, the maximum sentence is 3 years.
So first, Olivia was ballsy to put the Drake lyric, and it's a lyric, and she's having fun with it, and that's great. I mean, she's a free spirit, and if you're a guy who is, you know, what are you offended by that? Like, are you like some sort of good Christian or something, and then you're going to talk about raping people? I don't know, right?
That's a great point, actually. That is a great point. Like, you're so moral and you're so above, you know, anything sexual, you immediately go to raping feminists?
Yeah, in reality, it's very likely that this guy couldn't hook up with women on Tinder, so he was bitter about it. And he's like, oh, she's saying she would do that, but she won't do it with me, right? And so that's why he lashes out, is my best guess. Hall, the guy who originally posted the picture, wouldn't take it down when she asked him to. That's kind of a dick move. But a dick move is not illegal.
Exactly,
okay?
Yeah.
So Hall is not the issue here. Olivia is not the issue here. And Alchin, when he says the comments about, oh, you should have never been given rights, okay, another dick move, but also not illegal if you ask me. And, you know, I don't know exactly how Australia adjudicates it, but I would hope that you don't put somebody in prison for that. And you can have obnoxious opinions all you want, I think, online. But when you cross the line and talk about how rape this and I'm going to rape that, well, Australia apparently does have laws about that, so you ought to think about that, and ignorance of the law is no excuse. So that's got consequences. Now, my guess is it was stupid, you know, him acting out in an over-the-top, horrible, obnoxious way. I don't know that I give that guy 3 years in prison for it. But it is sobering. And one thing that commenters online, what we always try to explain, and we get hate all the time. Apparently, we didn't know this. We could apparently prosecute half of Australia. The other half we love, right? So we're not going to do that, and we don't get into any of that. And we allow comments everywhere, right? But guys, understand that if you're online, regular rules of humanity are not suspended. So if you go up to a woman and say, I'm going to rape you, that's a big problem. That's not a cool thing to do. And oftentimes here in America as well, that's a legal problem. You can't go to someone and say, I'm going to rape you. That's you could be charged with assault because you were threatening that assault.
That's right.
And that's part of the assault. So so be careful and don't do that, because douchey and illegal move.
Yeah. Well, look, one final thing I want to add to that is I know people are uncomfortable with this and they don't like it, but I do applaud Facebook for ensuring that people use their real names when they create accounts, right? And the reason why I say that is because Facebook still has some pretty terrible, cruel people, just like Zane Alchin, right? But at least it gets rid of the issue of anonymity, and people have to own up to what they say and what their comments are. So, I always give this example because I think it's the clearest example. Every once in a while, someone will think it's funny and cute to send me a dick pic, right? Now, I'm not, I don't freak out over it, but one particular day, I was like, let me see what this guy's profile looks like. Click on his profile. He's married. I know where he works. I know all his information. If I was a dick, I would contact his job or contact his wife, and I could easily ruin this guy's life, right? Now, I'm not going to do that because I have better things to do with my life. I'm not interested in ruining his life. But you got to understand that there are consequences to your actions online. You're not in some special world that's void of any type of consequence just because you can hide behind a screen. You can't really hide these days.
You know that if you went up to a person in real life and showed them your genitalia, not only is that illegal, you could get arrested, but you'd go probably on the sex offender list forever. And then your life is ruined. So I'm just telling you, even if you think, oh, they're just such prudes and who cares? Even if you don't care about anybody else, at least have enough sense to care about yourself and know that at some point, somewhere, that could be a serious problem for you. So just be careful with your dick pics and how you're going to do this and that to other people. It's not cool, and in some places, it's illegal.